Mm-hmm. All right.
Good morning.
I seem shorter on the left side. On the other side, I seem fine, but this other side, I seem kind of short. But anyway, hi. There, make me sit up straight.
And I'm not, because if I do,
you're all taller than me.
Just kidding. You guys, yesterday I was punching on my little buttons to go live, and I was like, why is nobody joining us? What happened? I went live on our Spanish page because it has the same logo and the same everything. So, yes, it was kind of one of those, oh man. So I shared the post from yesterday into this. You just probably didn't get a notification that we went live on Thursday morning. So now here we are, and I did double check that we're on the right page.
So good, it's awesome. So let us know. Let us know if you see it. We're getting familiarated. Is that a right? Familiarized. Is that familiarated? Seems like a better word.
Only in Alabama.
Only in Alabama. Okay. And so with how all this works, so just let us know if you're seeing us or watching on replay. I know some folks checked in and said they were watching on replay yesterday,
and
awesome. So it's there. So
thank you guys.
That's awesome, and it was neat because actually one of them was Uncle Jesse from Canada was watching on replay, and I liked he was talking about when we were speaking on excellence, and he re-quoted something from Joel Salatin about Joel Salatin would normally say things like, "Good enough is perfect."
Yeah.
And I know that was also one of those brain-bending comments for us to think about that. Good enough is perfect, and I know that sounds weird, especially in church world, because there's this, and please hear me, not that it's wrong, that this push for excellence, and we should do things excellently.
Absolutely.
So I'm not saying we shouldn't, but I've seen over 20 something years. So funny, Caleb the other day goes, we were listening to the Christian radio station and they were interviewing a pastor, and this pastor was saying, I've been in ministry for 29 years. And Caleb goes, Dad, how long have you been in ministry? I said, 22-ish years, 23-ish years, somewhere there. Oh, wow. And so it's
just that comparing
those little things. But anyway, but in 20-something years of ministry, I have seen so many people delayed through what I call the hesitancy of excellence.
Yeah.
Because it's not whatever. They keep holding it back and holding it back and holding it back and holding it back. And because perfectionism is never attainable. Excellence can be attainable.
Yes.
And improving is definitely attainable. But perfect is a myth.
Yeah.
It's just not there. Right? And so don't hesitate. If God's put something in your heart to do, get going. Get doing it. The days, and again, I know you hear preachers like us say this all the time, the days are fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer.
There's a little more urgency to the subject here.
Yeah, so the day, even on this, even, in your own life, the days are fewer. I believe the days are fewer overall, and Jesus is very imminent in his return. So there should be, urgency, a sense of, we don't have as much time as we used to.
That's right.
We don't have as much day. We in the South would say we burn in daylight. You know what I mean? Let's go. Yeah. Let's get after it. And so whatever God's put in your heart, man, get after it. Go for it. Just
I heard somebody else say 80% and published is better than 100% and still sitting on your desktop or in your, hard drive.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to know what you have inside of you that's going to be a blessing to and add value to the rest of the world.
That's right.
And so that little phrase helped me get my book out when it was, I thought, okay, you know what? I can be really pleased with this 80% or a little more. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right?
That's good. So yeah. So anyway, so that's all fun. We gave people a few minutes to log on and to see what's going on. So we're just going to pick up in our conversation from yesterday about, again, how do we share our faith at home? How do we share? And first off, we can go back and watch yesterday's. First off, you are already sharing your faith. So you just need to realize that what you actually believe you are sharing with the world. So it is a constant I don't know, review. I hate to use the word comparison but it's a constant review of what does the Bible say, right? If you will, versus what I'm actually living, believing, doing, that kind of stuff. Because you look back and go, okay, yeah, I'm constantly aligning my life, and what I mean by that is my heart. Then from my heart to my life to what we see in the Bible. But now, because I know it's for Selena, she wants some practical stuff. So let's.
Don't you?
He's so cute. And so, because we're re-establishing ourselves here real quick, I won't take long on this, but it's one of the things we say in our ministry, especially in our ministry towards marriage and family and child raising and all these things, is we quote a book, and I think it was Miles Monroe that wrote the book all those years ago. But the book basically has the title of this: "If how-tos were enough, we would all be skinny, rich, and happy."
Absolutely.
Right. So if it was, and I love that book. If it was
just a list of what to do.
If it was just about tell me what to do, and I'll do that and we'll be successful, then we would all be skinny, rich, and happy.
For sure.
And the book talked of, if I believe, it's been a year, long time ago, is, but the gist of it that I remember is you have to know the why, the heart, the deeper thing behind the how-to. Because if all you're after is just how-tos, tell me what to do, tell me what to do, tell me what to do, and you don't have a belief that fuels the do, then the do will be, again, classically like New Year's resolutions. That's why most people's New Year's resolutions never make it, is they've got their how-to down. They've joined the gym, they got the workout sheet, they got the diet plan, they got the budget book, they got all the whatevers, right? They got all of that on hand, but they don't know why. And knowing why we do stuff is what keeps you when it's hard. It's actually the fuel. Why is the fuel of discipline.
Absolutely.
Right. If why lets you get up in the morning and go, when you feel like, I don't want to get up and go exercise, I don't want to get up and go do this, I don't want to, and again, and unfortunately, most of us, and I'm just still using exercise just because we were talking about it this morning, is as an example, most people, the why is the doctor looked at them and said, Brad, if you don't get in shape or lose weight or do this or drop your this or whatever, you're going to die. All of a sudden, your why gets real crystal clear, real powerful, right?
Very motivating.
But what motivates you is the why.
For sure.
Right? Like, I've over all these years of ministry, we've run into people who maybe had an alcohol addiction or other addictions. Like, I'm even thinking of our current neighbor right now who smoked since he was like a kid, and the doctors finally looked at him and said, if you smoke one more cigarette, you're gone. And all of a sudden, he ain't smoking no more. All of a sudden, it's amazing how, done smoking, and it's
after decades of not being able to quit. Right?
Yeah. And that's the power of why.
So
I encourage you, as we talk about stuff, we will share, as we're about to now, some practical things. But always be in pursuit of why. God, why did you make it this way? Why did you set it up this way? Why?
You will notice that we're all about helping you discover and engage with God's design. And that is usually the bottom line as to why.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? It is a bottom line when it comes to talking to our kids about faith and about just passing on all of the big important things we need to talk to them about and instill into them. Well, why would we need to do that? Okay, let's go back to God's design. Bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Raise them up in the way they should go, so that when they are old, they will not depart from it. Don't you want that? Yeah. You want to be able to instill things into them when they're really little, so that when they're your age, they're not having to relearn, unlearn, and then relearn all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You get to actually disciple your kids from the very beginning, rather than a lot of times what we all had to do is retrain lots of things. And they're still going to have some things to retrain and all of that. But you definitely engage with God's design.
Yeah.
On the positive, because God's design works regardless of whether we engage with it or not. And so it just means you're being intentional about engaging with his design for the parenting journey and for their upbringing, right? Way more intentional. And that's what really sets our kids up for success.
Absolutely.
It's not the amount of sports that we get them into or the amount of opportunities. We were actually talking about this yesterday. The amount of opportunities we give them or the vacations they get to enjoy and experience or any of that, that's not what sets them up for success. What sets them up for success is having a solid relationship with you and a solid relationship with God. Why do I say with you? Because here's part of the why. When they're little, you are modeling what Father God is to them.
Yeah.
Whether you're a mama or a daddy.
Yeah.
As they get a little older, it shifts over to daddy is the one that's modeling that. But who is the absolute authority in a baby's life? Mom and dad. Who's the absolute authority in your life? Papa God. Right? So you are modeling constantly for your kids the relationship and what it's supposed to look like between you and God. That's why a lot of parents who are all about the rules and not relationship, that's just mirroring what they believe about God.
Yeah.
They think God is just up there checking off a list about all the rules. And that's not what his design originally was at all.
Yeah.
So discovering and engaging, see how parenting will actually make you grow spiritually, because as your perspective and your experiencing and your growth in your relationship with your Papa God grows, then so will your parenting understanding.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why it's not a list of how-tos.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, it really on that say everything in our life points us back to God in his design. Like you were just saying, our relationship with our children points us back to God. And you say, well, I don't have any kids. Okay. Your relationship with any child that's important in your life points you back to God. Nieces, nephews, your friends' kids, whatever, right? But also, marriage relationship points us back to God.
That's right.
Our sexual relationship in marriage points us back to God. Everything. I mean, again, even our work life points us back to God, right? Because so many in the New Testament, whatsoever you do it to the Lord, right? Heartily with the good. And so the way God designed, and this is the cool thing, the way God designed life was there's all these little connectors back to him. Things that he put in there that when we engage with his design, it causes us to constantly relate to him, constantly look to him, constantly talk to him, constantly be connected to him. Because again, I always say that the whole purpose of this exercise was God wanted to be in relationship with us. That's why he made us principally relational creatures. That we not only need relationship with him, we need relationship with other people. We need family relationships. We need friendships. We need all of these things because they point us consistently back
So then
to
when
him.
relationships hit a snag or a bump in the road, it's easier to go, you know what, I'm going to do hard yards here.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the hard things here because I understand why.
Yeah, that's right.
Not just, who can deal with that? Like, I can't deal with that anymore. Like, I'm so done.
Yeah.
People kind of edit things out of their life because they get hard, because they don't understand why and that they're important. So back to how to talk to our kids. I am driving today.
Well, you were driving this whole time. I don't know what you're talking about. So,
just letting you know.
Here's let's talk about this in a few moments in the design. And again, this may have to carry into next week. But so in Deuteronomy, I believe it's chapter 6, we see a famous line. It's the one where it starts off, Moses writing says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, he is one God. Love him," all this stuff. And then he says this, teach him to your children. And here's what I want you to notice. And then here's the design picture. Then in the verses, God captures 4 times in a normal day, or 4 windows where apparently, because of what he's saying, apparently the giving, receiving, and assimilation of faith information, teaching, of God teaching, it seems to be most effective. I don't know if that's it. Like they're most effective. They're pivotal moments of the day.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting in that picture again. And please hear me. Don't hear this so much as to what to do. Look at it from God's design. God recorded, hey, here are some windows in a normal day that every human being has ever had since we were
creation of time.
Since the creation of the first human beings. God says, here are windows that I created.
Right.
Here are moments that will help facilitate discipleship. And now I'm going to say this, and principally he's talking about with your kids, because he says, Israel, teach these things to your children. And then he tells us the windows, which I'll unpack in a second. But it's for us too. Again, this is not, because sometimes people might clock in here or join us and go, oh, well, they're talking about parenting. I don't have kids, or my kids are all grown. I'm all done. And don't do that, right? There's information for all of us. These are windows in time for us as well, for personal discipleship. So these same windows, and that's the thing I think we miss. God is talking to parents about children, but we forget Jesus said, be like a little child, and the kingdom of heaven will be yours.
That's right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So these windows, when we look and see, oh wow, here's what God says about what it looks like to parent little kiddos. He must be showing us a window into the kingdom of God.
Yes.
Because Jesus said, be like a little kid.
So do you see how engaging with God's design for your parenting journey is not just, okay, this is how I need to do it so I don't break my kid.
Yeah.
Right? But it's actually way more powerful than that. It's the moment you see something, like what Brad just said, you go, oh, I'm God's kid.
I am God's kid.
So I'm going to do these things. And the moment transformation happens in you and in your thinking and in your perspective shifts, all of a sudden, organically, you will be doing that with your kids. The moment you learn it and appropriate it for you, we've told people all the time, people are like, oh, can you help me fix my kid? We'll start by helping you transform you.
Yeah.
Because your kid is a product of you. Right?
Yeah.
And so if you are on this path and you are looking at these times, and you go, oh my goodness, I did not see that before. That's what I'm going to start doing so that my relationship with my Heavenly Father grows and I continue to remember I am like a child.
Yeah.
And then organically, you will see those opportunities pop up with your own kids. Absolutely. And you will seize the day. Let me tell you, it's amazing.
So he says, teach these things to your children, and then here's the times. When you rise up, our morning time. When you lie down, bedtime. Yeah. Right? When you are in your house, and when you walk by the way.
That's right.
So here's the 4. So we'll just take some time, and again, we're looking close. We won't finish up, but we'll pick up here next week. So let's talk about this first one. When you rise up and when you lie down, the first 2. Those are what we have called over the years and heard from somebody else. Those are the bookends of the day.
Yes.
Now, I think the reason why these times are important is your morning routine and your evening routine. Those genuinely, for all of us, those are actually your time. A lot of the time in the middle of the day belongs to somebody else.
You're working, you're going to school.
It's somebody else's. So there's a big chunk in between when I rise up and when I lie down. There's a big chunk in there that is others, right? But God says, hey, listen, throughout your life, the morning time that's yours,
Mm-hmm.
right? The evening time, that's also yours.
Mm-hmm.
So he created in his design magic moments in there,
Mm-hmm.
right? There are magic moments in that book. And let's talk about the morning one for the balance of our time, and then we'll pick up the night one on the next time if you help me remember.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So throughout, I think it's in the Psalms, right? David talks about, I was up in the midnight watch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And while I was up at the midnight watch and I was on the wall, and what he's talking about by that, he's talking about an interesting window of time. It was around 4 o'clock-ish in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? And I know, I don't know what happened there, but do we need to fix it? It looks like it's okay, but I don't know.
Okay, leave it then.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Anyway,
Yeah.
something happened on our Facebook phone over here. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So there's or was it, so
4 o'clock.
there's about 4 o'clock in the morning, David said. So again, there's this window. Nobody's up.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's there.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, but he wasn't just trying to stay awake. He said, at this moment, I was thinking about your ways.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was thinking about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I was meditating on your precepts. I was active. So guys, listen, that's that early morning time on a personal level is amazing.
Yes.
Right? That early morning time with your kids is amazing. We've learned to enjoy it. It still happens quite frequently here. The moment the kids hear that we're up and they get up, 1 or 2 of them will come and get up in the bed with us.
Yeah.
Or come and sit and just be.
Yeah. And
those are quiet, still, precious moments to be able to talk about
stuff with them.
About, hey, and they're open, you're open, everybody. And again, I'm trying not to, there's so much that comes to mind when I talk about this. We've learned years ago, psychologists know, like even in that early morning time before your brain gets fully up to speed, right, before it gets into the day and it gets into its full momentum, is the time we are most apt to hear from, now, and there's the universe, they hear from, to hear from the Lord, right?
Absolutely.
Right. It's most apt that time when,
just to clarify, we
don't believe in that. We'll believe in the universe. We believe God made the universe. But
yes, the creator of the universe. Why do I need to talk to the universe when I know
the man who made the universe?
Of the universe, right?
So anyway, so look at Jesus's life again. Jesus had very, very full and busy days, and it says it was his custom that he would rise early before anybody else. And I was sharing this to our church family. Jesus got up when everyone else was asleep so that he could be with Father and download with him and have a relationship with him, so that when everybody else was awake, he could be with everybody else, right? And so, but there's this pattern all throughout Scripture of the morning.
Yeah.
I rise up early and seek you again. I'm in the midnight watch and I'm meditating on you. It says, David, another psalm, when I lie early in the morning in my bed, when it's quiet, my mind is thinking on you, and all of these things. So now this is Brad's personal opinion. I think one of the most powerful of these times is that morning time.
Yeah.
I think there's so much, again, you're starting the day, and there is something to, I'm starting the day. I'm beginning today with God.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm beginning today with my mind.
First time frame with him.
Those are a lot of first principles, right?
Yes.
Right. I start, and it's a bit of the quote unquote tithe.
Yeah.
I'm giving the first of the day.
That's right.
To the Lord.
To the Lord.
I'm setting the first of the day aside. And there is something to that attitude of when it's first.
Yes.
Right? When it's first, it's valuable.
It's valuable. It's important.
When it's first, it's so important. When it's first. So there has to be a when it's first.
Yes.
right? And so, but that's also too back with our kids. What do we do with our kids? Make sure, I know there's so many families that everybody's sleeping to the last possible minute. Mm-hmm. And then let's go. And let's get up, let's get ready, let's go, let's hustle. We're going to be late. Let's go. I know I've worked in a couple of bakeries here this last year, and I'm kind of shocked sometimes to see, parents who come sliding in on their way to take little Buford or little Susie Q to school, and they're just throwing food at them and let's go. We and again, I understand we all might have days like that, and I'm not condemning anything. No, but it's something we can say to put in our programming to have this first part of the day set aside, even with your kids, to make sure you're leaving what we call runway. You got enough runway before you take off for the day that you can actually take off well, instead of it looking like a fighter jet that goes, you want to kind of like have that nice.
I was just going to say, I think I'm going to have to restructure my day after today. No, honestly, because for years we used to do certain things, and now this is such a good reminder, and somewhere along the line, as the kids got older, I became that jet airplane. And so I can see some things that need to probably change, just so that I can capitalize
on that moment.
And not look back and go, oh, here they were like trying to snuggle, and I was just like, let's go.
So these are what I call, or what I've called it, design. They're design moments.
Yes, absolutely.
That God has designed little windows in the day.
Yeah.
When it's almost, and I'm not, and y'all that know me, I'm not an over hyper kind of. I'm not a granola Christian, right? I'm not a fruit flake or a nut, right? No. However, I do believe there's like these magic moments of connection.
Yeah.
There are these little windows of time that God created where, but in that connection is like all of the things he does, it's both ways. Mm-hmm. It's a magic moment, if you will, to connect with him.
Yes.
And it's a magic moment, if you will, to connect with each other and other people and family.
That's right.
Right? Again, if there's somebody, I like that, if there's somebody you're really wanting to, if you will, speak into their life, and maybe they're a friend, they're not necessarily a family member, there's something powerful about, hey, well, let's get up in the morning, let's go for a walk.
Yes.
Before you get started, meet me at the local park, or hey, let's go grab an early breakfast at the local mom and pop diner that is open all the time, and let's and you're meeting with this person, and it's that same still. They're not busy yet, you're not busy yet. There are just these moments.
Yes.
And I don't hate to use the word magic, but I think y'all know what I mean. But it's like there's this magic connection. It's like this sparkly time.
Yes.
That when you're there. For me, it's like I love this time of year. there's quite a number of mornings I'm on my deck, sipping coffee, talking to Jesus, waiting for a squirrel to come around. Right? Yeah. And because I like to hunt. Right? But to me, it's not so much just the hunting of the critter. It's that I'm out there. I'm by myself. It's early. Everybody else normally here.
When the boys get up, guess where they go?
They go straight out there.
Straight out. Where's Daddy?
And they come and sit with me. And we had some great conversations with the boys yesterday morning. We're just sitting there.
Love it.
And just quietly whispering and talking. So anyway, enough on that.
There you go.
That's the first one. These design moments.
Yes.
Your morning time. Craft your morning time.
Yes.
Take advantage of that window.
Yes.
Before the day begins, right? Yeah. So we thank y'all very much again for joining. Again, those that have hung with us this time, and those that are watching again, as you're doing this, as we're reconnecting and getting refamiliarized with this, let us know that you're watching. Let us know that you're finding this and seeing it. If you haven't gone to YouTube yet, please go to the Hollimans. It's our YouTube page.
That's right.
Hit subscribe, hit the little bell. Watch the stuff there if you're gonna kind of catch up later. If you wouldn't mind watching on YouTube, because we're trying to earn the credits to be able to go live on YouTube.
That's right.
So we need like 1,000 subscribers and so much
our good friend
hours
Jesse
content.
says it's much easier to binge watch the Hollemans on YouTube than it is trying to sort through everything on Facebook.
Right?
So we totally get that.
So please help us get there. So there are some parameters. And then we haven't talked about this a little bit. If you would like to help us financially, if you'd like to help us in what we're doing here and in our ministry to help families.
Value in all of this, it'll just help us get it out to more people.
Yeah, and I know there's a number of you that have and do regularly support us. We say thank you. Thank you to you.
Yes.
Again, what your support helps provide is the new webpage. You can go check it out, thehollemans.com. It helps us have the time to do things like this. It helps us provide all the, as many of the subscriptions and the fees associated with web pages and hosting and all the stuff that's there. So you guys are helping it make it possible for us to be able to get this out there.
Yes.
So thank you for that. Selena in the comments will leave ways to give, and the newest way is coming up, and she's going to work on that here today.
I'll work on it today.
If you go to thehollemans.com, there's a give button going to appear today.
Yes.
And you can click there and give. That's probably the most direct way to do it. But she'll put the other ways that y'all have done in the past on there. And we just appreciate you guys and love y'all for being our community. And share this out if you found value in it. If you haven't found value in it, share it out. Maybe somebody will. But we love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.